Do you know what it's like to be dozing off, slowly drifting into a dream, but then you're suddenly gripped with the feeling that someone is there, watching you from the window? Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Puddles, and I wanted to share with you a story, one that my mind vaguely remembers, this story that took place at Camp Woollywook. Camp Woollywook was a place where parents sent their kids for a few days to get a much-needed vacation. It was a relatively small camp, one I went to often as a kid, a place full of fun and adventures. It was maybe a dozen small cabins that housed at least 7 kids and a counselor at a time, a couple buildings for activities that weren't meant to be outdoors, and a church that had been modified into a mess hall. Many things happened at this camp, everything from injuries to stealing from the camp cook in the dead of night. It was a chaotic but fun time for everyone, until this very moment. The counselors had everyone assemble at the foot of a hill before we began the hike. It was a humid day, but as we began our ascent, we noticed a man standing at the top. No one that we nor the counselors knew, so they asked us to wait while they went to go check on what this man wanted. As they went up, the campers were moved either to the mess hall or to our cabin, basically intruder protocol. We were all curious as to what was going on, but after a while we were allowed out of our cabins because it was now safe. Camp activities resumed as normal after the man was removed from the premises, and we quickly forgot about it until the bonfire. We asked what had happened earlier. One of the counselors told us that the man was looking for someone, possibly his grandson. But the odd thing was he was carrying an axe. The counselor assured us that everything was fine, but as an assurance for our safety, we would travel in a buddy system for the rest of the time we were at camp, in case someone else was around. That night, after walking back from brushing our teeth before bed, there was that feeling of someone's eyes on you, watching, coming from the wood. Ignoring it, my buddy and I quickly walked back to our cabin and told our counselor. To make us feel better, she checked around with a flashlight, but there was nothing. I couldn't fall asleep. I have always had a problem sleeping in an unfamiliar place. It's how I got my camp nickname. Around 1 a.m, my eyes were finally allowing me to drift off to sleep. But as I turned around on my bed, I froze. There were footsteps going around the side of the cabin, and a faint scraping sound. Curious, I moved slowly from my original spot, as the mattress would make a plastic sound if I moved too fast, and I looked through the window. I watched as a figure pressed their face through the glass, eyes wide, searching. Luckily, I was on the top bunk, on the same wall as the window, so whoever it was didn't see me or hear me. Then they looked up. But after a minute of pure silence, the figure huffed and walked behind the cabin and checked the other side of the window, but eventually continued down to the next cabin. Once the footsteps were out of earshot, I laid back down on the top bunk and I waited. I was still listening to see if someone was still there, but once the fear subsided, I managed to get some sleep. Not a lot, but some. When I was walking along the woods around the arts and crafts cabin, I noticed movement through the trees and saw the same man that was on the top of the hill that day, walking slow, heading towards the pool house. I faintly remember police cars being at the camp after that, searching for him. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, consider leaving a like and subscribe to see more content just like this. Happy Halloween, everyone!